It's your boy Emmanuel Khan. Everybody probably know me. Most people know me as Turner Freison. My middle name is Emmanuel. I like Khan, kind of like Emmanuel Khan. Anyway, today is April 18th, and I've taken the liberty to go ahead and start doing my daily devotional on my pages. And first off, I want to give a shout out and praise to my Father in heaven and His Son Jesus Christ, who died for our sins and was raised. For He is the Son of God. He is God in the flesh, and He is how we get right here. This is the reason. And also, chosen generation. This is my church. I invite y'all all to come Sunday. Services start around 10:45. It is going to be Easter, just nice. It's on 32nd and MacArthur on the west side of the street. Right across the street is the Iglesias Church, which is like the Latino church, but that's not us. Hopefully one day we can all convene and make something happen. But in the meantime, I just want to humble myself and just say, hey God, praise be your name, and your name is holy as it is in heaven, and so on earth your grace is just given to me. I appreciate everything that you've done for me, the things that I have not had to fall victim to, the things that I see and I wish to have, I pray that I have. Dear Father, I ask you to allow me to have those things in your time and as you see fit. And I humble myself, dear Father, and I try to walk in the ways of the brethren that have followed behind, and as I lead up into the new generation where we are chosen, dear Father, and I ask you to please allow us to grow and save as many souls as we can and become as wise as we can in your word, dear Father. Use your word, dear Father, as if it is the only thing, and breathe it, eat it, and drink of it to the point where we are just full of it. Literally, Lord, I just want to be able to say thank you, because without you, just want to be still and give you your praise and your reverence. For you are God. You are the beneficent, the all-powerful, and the merciful, and the gracious. You are the host. Dear Father, thank you for convening with us today, and we ask for you to continue to praise all day, dear Father, and just glorify your name like we did yesterday, and just have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about this struggle. Hear our faintest cry, answer by and by. Yeah, I'll give a little prayer for the yearning. Oh, in the heaven is turning. Have a little talk with Jesus makes me whole. All right. We're gonna go ahead and start. Straight up having church up in here. You know what I'm saying? Yes, what's up? Now, April 18th, the small quote is going to be, I will raise up from them a prophet like you from among their brethren. Now, who is he talking to? Who is that talking? Apparently, that is God talking or speaking to Moses. And as Moses stood between the Lord and you at that time, what he's saying is like Moses and Jesus and God, but there's the same thing. So therefore God is in the flesh, so therefore that is Jesus speaking. We're going to get deeper. It says here, at that time, to declare to you the word of the Lord, for you were afraid. And that's real talk, because I know that there was a time in the Bible where Moses was being very humble, and he was afraid to take on a task that had been set before him. And being a humble man, who wouldn't be? But understanding that there is no one God or one mediator between God and men other than that man, Jesus Christ. And so what I'm saying is that even though Moses had a large task to take upon himself, understanding that a prophet will be risen again from the prophets of the prophets, who is Jesus Christ and God in the flesh, knowing that his task is only a small thing in the nature of him. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying by that is like, that's kind of deep. Moses was like, hey, take up my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. That's like Christ. He will take the weary, the tired, you know what I'm saying? Those who work hard, trying to each day, trying to do right. Not even trying to do right, just focusing on the good things, focusing on the things like I just did earlier, like giving praise to him for allowing himself to take upon what it took to die. Not just die, but offer himself up as a sacrifice in the presence of himself. But we're going to keep on going. Now, Christ Jesus being in the form of God did not consider it a problem or robbery or anything like that to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation. So that means that Jesus made himself a servant of the people. And Moses, who was a prophet, magician, whatever you want to call him, he was not a servant to his people. He was God's servant. But he was the leader for his people. So it's a totally different type of situation here. This is why a leader, humbling, one thing. But Moses indeed was faithful in all his house as a servant of God. But for the testimony to those things which have been spoken afterward, Christ as the Son over his own house, whose house we are, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm to the end. Now, what I'm saying is this. Jesus has prepared a place for us in heaven to convene. That is very understanding and people got to understand what he did. It's like for God to save what he thought or what he made to be, he had to become that. And then when he became that, did he not take upon his own oath that he provided man by saying, I will keep this covenant with you, Abraham? And he gave the keys to David. When David was out there in the wilderness, upset with the church and how it became, and built his own little tabernacle, and was out there preaching to the animals and making joyful songs. And man, point being, God said, hey, I'm going to give you a bigger home. And I'm going to give you keys to that home to pass on to your next, so he can chill and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you working hard for me. And this is the thing, Moses worked hard. David worked hard. So did not Jesus have to take it upon himself to understand that given those keys, not only those keys, but given this right, given this covenant, given this contract, to allow himself to die for sins. Now, this is where grace comes in. Because like it says, Moses being humble. It says Moses was more humble. He was very humble. He was more humble than all the men on the face of the earth. Now, being that humble and that gracious of a host to be a servant in his house, and God came in, you know what I'm saying, or Jesus came into his house, for example, would he not be a servant in that time too as well? Yes. So what I'm saying is this. I'm taking from this that from what we have and what we have created for ourselves, we must provide a place for our Father to convene with his Son and me through the Holy Spirit in all facets of our life, even like in this car, in your home, in the home that you have, the home that you hold firm, the heart that you have, the body that you hold firm to the end. You must glorify him and have confidence and hold fast. That means steadfast. That means like a watchdog at night, waiting on him to come. Because we're trying to get him in quick. You feel me? When you become a real soldier of God, you realize, man, look, we're going to die for this one day. We've already signed up for that. We've already taken that oath. It's just like if you join the army, you give a pledge of allegiance to the country. You give a praise and for your people, and you try to give them freedom by fighting for them and dying for them. Now, we take upon a larger oath and we say we're going to fight for all souls, dead and alive. I mean, those people dead and alive. That's what Jesus said. Hey, look, I got the keys. These keys were given to me by the one who worked hard for me, and I built him a place, and this is his place, and y'all tearing it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this because this is what is promised. That had to be a big task to take on, to think about saying, man, you know, I really don't feel like I want to die today. But I know that out of all my brethren, I am the prophet. And out of these brethren, one of them going to turn on me. The other's going to turn away from me. Well, if it's going to happen, let it happen quick. Lord, I know he prayed. He said, hey, man, bless them out there. Give them strength, man. Because they do not know what tells them, you know, like what comes before them. You know, all of them met tragedy like deaths, but glorified. You know, people don't even pay attention that the majority of the homes that these apostles had were other people's homes and prison cells and lowly areas where they had very little light and they had to write. At the time was right when they were convened with the Father, who would come in the lowly places. So you got to understand, it's your job to create a place here on earth for God to convene. That is heaven on earth. As it is in heaven, so be it here. For thy kingdom has come. Build it. Is it not for you to build? Is it not for you to create a small piece that has been given to you in that house of the Lord that you are a tenant in? Make that place beautiful. So therefore, if the Lord comes into your room and inspects it, like, you know, a general wiping, I see. You are spick and you are span and you are the man. You are Dapper Dan. Praise. You know what I'm saying? Not that you got to be the cleanest man on the earth, but be available, be aware, be honest, and be awake to the idea that the house is open. Not for business, but open. The door is unlocked. We're expecting company. Be mindful and watchful. Show up, chosen generation. April 18th. Hope y'all understand that. It's going to get better as the time goes on, but praise God. You know what I'm saying? Today is all about making a home, making a place for God and giving honor to Him and His Son. And an unforgivable, I say unforgivable act, but it is forgivable. You know, the fact that He sacrificed Himself on that cross like a lamb on an altar lets you know that this is a bloody, bloody, bloody game. Christianity and Satan he's trying to take souls. And it says in the Bible, a wise man can save souls. It's going to take it. So you know Satan is wise, man. But don't be afraid to convene and call that what it is. Because if he's not as strong as you, if you have one speck of God and one speck of faith in you, the devil is scared of you. He's scared of you. He's scared of you. He's scarce. Scarce. We don't have no scare business around here. Lucifer done all that morning. I'm going to chase you out of her. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm telling you.